Hey guys, I am Sarah, this is Steve and Travis, and we're here from the Findorf construction team. You will start to see more of us after spring break or during the spring break this year, and we will be on site until you come back for school in the fall. And we're here today to talk a little bit about how construction will affect you while you're finishing out this year and what you'll end up seeing next year when you come back to school. So here we are. Sarah Mahalski, I'm the project manager, and Steve is the site superintendent. So Steve and Travis will be here on a day-to-day basis. Those are guys that you'll see here more often than myself, and they'll talk a little bit about safety.
So we just wanted to point out a couple things to the way we distinguish ourselves from other people, or how you can know we're construction workers. So as you can see, I got the green on here. But a couple things that you'll always see a construction worker have is, see Travis has his hard hat on, safety glasses, work boots, pants, gloves. If he doesn't have a green shirt on, typically he'll have the vest here. So typically it'll say Findorf on it, but there'll be a lot of different workers here from other companies, but usually it'll say their company name on it.
And as you guys come, if you guys come on site for class to see the job site, we're doing that monthly with some of the classes, possibly more of the middle school kids in the elementary school. But you'll have to wear that personal protective equipment on site. It is a requirement at all times.
So a couple other things that you'll see is you can see this guy's wearing bags and a harness. That's also safety equipment for when they're working at heights, but just some of the stuff you'll see, different colored hard hats. But you can see most of them, it'll say Findorf right on it or their company name. So.
Yep. So when you come back from spring break, you will see a lot of construction fencing. We're asking that all students stay out of the construction areas or away from construction equipment or materials. So if you don't understand what's going on and you see something different that's not normal for the campus here, we want you to stay away from it. So the fencing is there to protect you. You may also see signage. So you'll either see maybe these caution tape, or the danger tape or the danger signs. That is for your safety to keep you out of these areas. There are some activities that'll happen outside of our construction fencing. They may have, it may look like some wood barricades. So this right here is telling people not to come outside through these doors because there is construction here that they're supposed to avoid. So some of the stuff isn't as labeled as maybe you would like it to be, so it will communicate as we move through the construction timeline. But
yeah, and
gotta be careful.
this is not a jungle gym. It's here for your safety, so we don't want you climbing on any of the stuff that isn't ordinarily here or that you remember at the school.
We're going to try to make sure that everything's flagged off so you'll know with caution tape that you're not supposed to be in that area.
Here we got a picture of a piece of equipment that's going to be on site full time. It's called a lull. The lull will be running around between the different parts of the job, but it's loud. It beeps when it backs up. It's a little bit scary for you, but the driver in there will have a flagger or a spotter, and just stay back from the equipment on site that's outside the fence. Here's a couple more big pieces of equipment which you'll be able to watch outside the fence here next to the middle school when we start the new practice field out here. This is a backhoe, so we'll have a backhoe when we dig the front entry
to the high school.
But it's something that you'll be able to see out the window. Again, just stay away. It's going to be loud also. It's going to disturb. You're probably going to hear it over here at the elementary school at times, but just stay back from all equipment.
We have had a change of plans for our assembly today.
Just a note too that after hours, I know this heavy equipment looks like something fun. Stay away from it. We don't want anybody getting hurt. We always take the keys out so no one can start them up, but you could still fall from one of these pieces of equipment.
This here is what is called scaffolding, and you can see some material. There is going to be certain times where, for short durations, this stuff is going to be outside the fence. We can't climb on anything. We don't want to touch material or move it around. It's for your own safety, so stay away from anything outside the fence. Typically we'll have snow fence wrapped around it or something, but we need to stay off anything that's outside the fence.
So, it's basically a zero tolerance, right? Zero tolerance. So we don't want to see anybody beyond any of our fencing or on any of our equipment or on any of the material. There's cameras out here. The district personnel know what they're looking for, and of course we're always looking out as well. So we're looking out for your safety to stay away from our construction equipment and material.
And like Sarah said earlier, we can't stress the fact enough that the fence is put up for your safety. So we want to stay outside of all the construction fences, and there's going to be a bunch of them here. So
yeah. So as you can see here in blue, this document went out as a mailer to all of the households in the Poynette School District. This is also out on social media on the webpage, the Facebook webpage. But the blue construction, or the blue line designates the construction fence. You can see here where the construction fence will be located. And then the orange colors indicate when. So the dark orange are areas that we will be taking over as of March 20th. So during spring break, we will have this area for the future football practice field that will stay fenced off until the following school year. So that'll be fenced off for an entire year to let that grass grow for football. And then here at the main entry, we have 2 zones for construction. The main entry will be a zone, and then we have ADA parking, and then another construction area. So there will be equipment that travels between these areas during the day that will, like Steve was saying, we'll flag it off so that you guys know not to travel in that area when we're moving. The high school tech ed area will be taken over. STEAM will continue to have their classes, so if there's middle schoolers that come over for class here, your teachers will tell you how to get over to this area, but this is no longer in access here. And then we had comments on sporting events. So all sporting events, parking will be outside the construction area. You won't be able to park back here for sporting events. In order to access these areas, you're either coming around the high school and in, or off of 51 and over. So dark orange we are taking over in spring break. The light yellow will take over as of June 1st. And then we won't turn anything back over until the start of school next year, August of 2020.
So this is a map of how the parking will change. So staff parking will be in these 3 rows right here. High school student parking will be in these 3 rows. We also have parking available along Seward Street over here. All parking that happens on this side of the boulevard will be closed. This will be a construction zone, just like the map indicated.
yeah, so as of I believe the 16th, right? There'll be no buses or anything over here, so all pickup and drop-offs will be up at the elementary, middle school.
Including sports.
Including sports. So when you get dropped off in the morning, it'll be off of Cleveland Street here. And your entrance will be to the school, will be on door 5, heading up by the gym.
So high schoolers will come down here and into the high school off of the buses. And for sporting events, I assume the same route.
Yep.
So
And I think there's like Spanish and other classes, right, that middle schoolers come
Yep.
in for.
So when you come over for Spanish class or choir class, you'll be
Mr.
walking
Hauser, call the office, please. Mr. Hauser, call the office.
walking along the sidewalk like you normally do, down this sidewalk like you normally do, and right along the building here. All the area over here will be under construction, and you won't be able to do that. And there'll be a tunnel coming into the
Clearly
front
marked.
entrance. Clearly marked tunnel. This will be fenced off, and that's how you'll get over to the high school for lunch and for those different classes through the rest of the school year.
So on this slide, you can see, you may have noticed we already have a lot of dumpsters and stuff back here. So this is just to touch on the fact for spring sports that there won't be any parking back here like normal. So pass that on to anybody that may be watching you for spring sports, that parking will be out on the streets or up in the main parking lot.
So the other thing we wanted to touch on was handicap parking. So handicap parking is currently here in this area, and as you can see, this will be part of our construction zone. So going forward, ADA parking is sitting in the middle of this row here. There'll be 3 handicap parking stalls, and then we poured a sidewalk to get across this curb, and then we'll pour a ramp to get up onto this sidewalk. And then of course you can get in the main entry or the summer entry, depending on when you're trying to access the school. And of course this sidewalk stays open, so getting into the middle school, you either get out of your car and walk the parking lot or the sidewalk and over to access the middle school, elementary school. So then the fun part, right? What are we changing? What will it look like when we are done? So this is the first floor of the high school. And you can see the orange are the areas that we are going to be in as of spring break. So the main entry will have that fenced off as you saw in the previous slides. And then the tech ed area will also be blocked off, and we'll be working in there as of spring break. We'll also be touching the administrative office in the summer. So I think the admin office moves into the addition, and then you have guidance that becomes part of this area here. The kitchen gets a new cooler outside on the concrete slab there. And then this English room turns into a science room. And then up on second floor, their science room turns into an English room. And this classroom here becomes commons, a common space where you can land in between classes. And then we open up a wall in the art room for like a green screen media area.
So one thing too is we're talking about right now what's going to change after spring break, but stuff in both buildings, the middle school and the elementary school, is going to change throughout the summer constantly. So we need to be aware of our surroundings all summer long too, not just during the school year.
Yep.
So
here's a photo of our rendering of what the new high school entrance will look like. You can see here is the secured entry. So you'll be coming in this this glass area into the new addition, and then into the school. Flagpole will stay about where it is today. So for reference, this is the interior of the new administration area. This is where parents and students will check in, and then move on into the school. Here is the second floor of the high school where we said the commons area would be. Here we're opening up this wall of this corridor, and we're opening up the wall on this corridor. And this is a place where students can land in between classes or to work in their groups for different class assignments. This is a rendering of the tech ed area. Here we are renovating and opening up this entire space. Of course, we are painting most of the walls. We're opening up a few classrooms. We're putting in some glass garage doors. We're relocating the little elevator here to over in this space here. So really making it more collaborative and open. And then at the middle school, so here we'll be staged along this area here, like we talked about in previous slides during the summer, right? Like Steve said, we're going to be here all summer long working on the elementary middle school, our future middle school. The main entry will remain open for administrative reasons, but inside the school, this is what the new library will end up looking like. And you can see here, this is currently a wall that divides the space, and we're going to open that up so that you have more collaboration space in this area. And then just some renderings of the new elementary school. So this construction is already in progress. This is what the new elementary school entrance will look like. If you went up there on a tour today, you would see that the stone is in place, that most of this structural steel, the structure is in place, the windows and the metal panel and the brick are all there. So we're working on just the detail finishes getting these benches in, and finishing up the main entry. This is a rendering of the new cafeteria for elementary school. So you can see a pretty big open space with lots of color and light. This entrance is from the bus parking lot. So you'll come in here during the morning when you get off the bus. And this is a rendering of the new STEAM lab. So to the left here is the library. And then in the background, you can see the entrance to the art room. It also has glass doors, art, and then music is off to the right here. And then in the main centerpiece is the STEAM science lab. So here's a picture of our progress to date. So we are working on finishing up here in May, and part of our progress updates for the district are taking drone footage. So we have our drone pilot here today, Matt, and he's going to explain what he does every month.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm the drone pilot for Findorf. This is what we use to fly the sites and get videos and updates for photos and for the district. We use those photos to inform your parents and everyone what the changes are going on at the time. We use the information for progress, verification, showing how the site changes week to week. It's faster than Google. If you want, we can go outside and we can show it taking off so that way they can kind of see what it looks like.
Sure.
Let's head outside. Alright, so when I'm out flying, I wear a vest that's orange, and I actually have labeled that I'm a pilot. This is what one of the drones looks like that we fly for sites. We have a couple other ones, but you'll probably see this one more often than not. This is what it looks like and sounds like when it takes off. Videos and photos of all the things happening around the school. Have a good day.
So, just to conclude, we will be complete with all the projects here in the district once school starts, August of 2020. So, look for information in July and August for your grand openings and registration for school next year.
That's it. Stay outside the fences.